They don't see that it was clearly listed on the website. They think it's rude to make them wait in line. They can't believe you won't be open this Sunday. They think you're the crazy one. They're not normal customers, oh no. They are the Patronarchy.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Patronarchy, the show where we talk about the customers that didn't want good service, they wanted good servitude. I'm your host, Vince, and thank you for tuning into another episode where we just vent about the weird and horrible customers we've had to deal with over the years. This time, I'm joined by a returning guest to the channel, Jamie from Neo Trash Video.
Hi everybody, how are you doing today?
Jamie did the Suicide Squad review that we did, came out a few weeks back before the new one came out. And now he is back to talk about his stories of working in customer service.
Oh, yes. Well, please take into consideration that my first job in customer service was at age 16. I worked at the Taco Bell in Monroeville Mall, which is no longer there. It's been replaced by something I don't know. But my second job was also in Monroeville Mall, where I worked in a candy store called Help Yourself, which eventually had a facelift and turned into a place called, and this is no joke, Icky, Sticky, and Goo.
Keep in mind, I'm gonna have to bleep out the names of these places so they don't sue me. But
okay, Icky, Sticky, and Goo and Help Yourself are no longer around. So
okay.
That's within legal.
I'm noticing a pattern with places you worked at in your youth, Jamie. Yeah. They're just dissolving.
But you asked me to come in to talk about some of my worst customer service mishaps.
If you're willing to talk about it.
I would love to. Actually, the one that comes to mind first is one of my experiences whenever I was driving for Lyft. Whenever I bought my car, I said I want to have at least a little bit of extra money to help pay off the insurance monthly, and that's why I did with Lyft. And this is back before Lyft and Uber became like super big
companies.
Things.
Yeah, right. Sure.
I would literally drive all night from when my kids would be asleep at 9 o'clock until like 2-3 in the morning when I would come home, and just pull shifts all as long as I could through the night. Whenever my kids would be with their mother on their weekends, I would drive during the day, which is also why I would be able to do the occasional Steeler game or event on the weekend.
I remember those. I was a Lyft driver too. I remember those.
Excuse me. Sorry about that.
All right.
Okay. So, one of these situations during a Steeler game came where I caught a fare coming from the north side, where I think that place Steel Tequila Cowboy or something.
Oh yeah, Tequila Cowboy.
Yeah.
I remember that place because I tried to get a stand-up show going there one time, and they said no.
Yeah, I can understand why, because it's kind of a douche bar, in my opinion.
One thing.
Again, this is my opinion. It's not the opinion of everybody.
Yes, right, exactly. Yeah, as someone who was also a former Lyft driver, I definitely picked up plenty of people from that place. Some were cool, and some were dumb.
Well, I had during an afternoon Steeler game, and the Steelers weren't doing very well, and this one couple wanted to leave. So they get into the car, and I'm doing a little small talk to try to get a little bit of rapport going with the customer, and the customer is just like not very. He's a little overly into himself, him and his girlfriend, and the the guy eventually lets go that he is a Pittsburgh Penguins player who had just been traded from somewhere out west, and so he and his girlfriend, they get into the car. They're in the car. Usually, I'd be playing my original mashups in the car because in my other life, I am DJ Jamie Derelict, the Pittsburgh's preeminent creator of original mashups. But I thought, okay, since this person's kind of a bigger name, I'll let them play their own music. And so his girlfriend puts on the shittiest EDM. I'm like, well, I'll just accept this. Hopefully this is going to give me a better tip when everything is said and done. And so we're driving down Route 28 because his place was, I'm not sure, it was along the Allegheny somewhere.
I gotcha.
So I notice as I'm driving, I have to check my mirrors, and I've had people get sick in my car before. And usually when that happens, I go into full dad mode, like, okay, when this is done, we're stopping somewhere, you're cleaning my fucking car. There is no question about that. I've had to pull rank like that a couple times. One of the times I had to do that was on New Year's Eve when these drunk college kids made the mistake of doing that. But the cool thing is that the one drunk college kid who did YARF did it outside the window and onto the side of my car. So I'm like, yeah, we're stopping somewhere, getting cleaning supplies, and you're cleaning this fucking thing, and you're giving me a good damn tip for it too. Yeah, sometimes pulling rank is not a bad thing. But I digress. So the douche bro in question and his EDM
lady.
Yeah. I noticed that I'm just, as I'm driving, I'm trying to keep my eye on the road,
right,
and not pay attention to things going on in the car, especially with the coming from the stereo and annoying the hell out of me. But I noticed, looking out the rearview mirror to check the back, her head is bobbing up and down. I think that we understand that there is something unusual going on in my back seat that usually shouldn't. Yeah, I'm trying to be a little discreet about this, but yeah, I saw the head. I did not look lower because I have at least have a little bit of respect. I'm a horrible individual, but I have respect. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to go as fast as I can down Route 28 to get this out of my car. And so we stop. I'm like, good luck with the Penguins, and from there it was just like, okay, I'm going to try to get some brainwash to get this out of my head.
Right.
Especially because I'm like, ugh, I don't want to think about that. And I'm like, okay, I'm looking for the tips that come up after it. Their tip comes up, $1.
$1.
$1 goddamn dollar. That's just, I mean, like, if you're going to use my car for an impromptu BJ session, you're at least going to give me like $10. You stiffed me, motherfucker.
Yeah, Jamie, I'm so with you there because, like I said, I did Lyft driving for a while. For at least a few months, it was my only source of income. So I understand how important those tips are because people are like, they'll say like, well, you're getting paid, right? Yeah, but we're getting paid depending on how far you're going, how long it takes us to get there, and Lyft takes a cut. And keep in mind, Lyft drivers, we don't work for Lyft. We're
independent contractors.
We're independent contractors.
I mean, I've had situations where I picked up somebody down in Pittsburgh, and they had to go out to east of the city, and it was convenient for me because I live east of the city, so I picked this guy up. And it was on the night of the huge protest where the Parkway East was closed down because of I think it was the Antoine Rose protests, and that was difficult because I'm trying to get this guy from where he is downtown to his place out east of the city, and it doesn't matter how much time the person is in the car. They're already contracted to a certain amount of money, so no matter how much time I'm wasting on this situation, it's still pulling me out of my time.
Right.
And I'm not getting paid for it. So that was an annoyance, but I mean, like, that's just a minor annoyance. But in my opinion, the worst thing that ever happened to me in Lyft, I'm going to actually be giving you 3 stories tonight.
Okay, that's cool.
Instead of the 2 that...
Going into the second story.
Second story.
And before we go in, may I say, guys, listen, I am very pro BJ, but I think it's a good... very pro BJ. But I there's a time and a place for a BJ, and it's definitely not somebody else's car. I don't care what team you're playing for. I'm a Pittsburgher. If the Penguins are doing well, then I'm happy for the city. But no. Okay. Anyway, sorry. I
just didn't want to see his hockey stick get whacked.
Was she like playing with his hockey pucks?
I mean, like, I wouldn't be surprised if I heard a couple slap shots from the back seat. These are the jokes, folks. We never have to say that they're good. But the worst...
Okay, but anyway. Story number 2, I guess.
Story number 2 is actually another Lyft story.
I'm down for it.
So, this was another New Year's Eve. I think this was the New Year's Eve after the puke incident.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm in Monroeville, and I get... Ding, ding, ding. Hey, it's a fare. Okay, and it's in Monroeville. So I'm able to pick this person up. So the situation was unusual because this person had their fare paid by a friend.
Oh, okay.
So
the friend called the ride.
Right.
Okay.
So I don't know this person. Well, it turns out that the friend was in Seven Springs, and they wanted this person delivered from Monroeville to Seven Springs.
That's a bit of a drive.
Yes, it is. It's 45 plus minutes. And me, stupid me, I took the fare. And because, I mean, like, it's New Year's Eve, what the hell else am I going to do? And so I picked this person up. For 45 minutes, the car, excluding the music coming from my CD player, was silent because this person was on their phone the whole time, no interactions, and I'm trying to pay attention to where I'm supposed to go. And just for the record, I don't know anything about Seven Springs. I'm not a skier. I don't go out that way all that often.
Right.
In fact, it's not, skiing's not my thing. I don't know Seven Springs. So, needless to say, I go in the first gate of Seven Springs, and I'm trying to find this place that this person is supposed to have me at. And I don't know where these chalets are. And I'm trying my best to try to figure this out. And I actually had to get out and try to get
your bearings and whatnot.
Yeah, get some advice from somebody at the main lodge. And they said, oh, this place is down the road, which is already fucking my head up because I'm like, well, I've already spent 45 plus minutes on this person.
Yeah. And
I have no idea where the hell I'm supposed to take them.
Right.
And this person has been silent, and honestly, because there's no conversation, there's no camaraderie, right. there's no reason for me wanting to do this. So from there, I had to somehow figure out where this area of chalets is, which is like half a mile down the road from the entrance of Seven Springs, and find out where this place is.
Right.
So eventually, this happens. The the person gets out, goes with their friend, and I'm thinking to myself, you took almost an hour and a half out of my night between taking this person here and me going back towards my way, plus tolls, which are
Also, you took the turnpike.
Tolls are paid back to us from Lyft. So, so I'm thinking to myself, this person better at least give me like $25 to $30 for going above and beyond. I got a $10 tip, which seemed really, really insulting to me. Yeah. And it's just like, really, I spent all this time on you. The very least you could do is be a little more generous. And for fuck's sake, it's New Year's Eve. I'm doing this out of the goodness of my heart because I want to make sure that people are not going around drunk driving and just causing chaos and crashes.
Oh yeah, I worked New Year's one, and it can be a crazy night. If you're Uber driver, Lyft driver, whatever rideshare you work for, just be aware. If you're not willing to work on those nights when you know people are going to be out and be drunk, don't force yourself. But if you're like me or Jamie and you're cool with it, just be aware of what's going on. All right.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I worked both those New Year's just on a sense of altruism, and same thing with Drunksgiving. Because again, I'm trying to do good for the community. That's my heart. I try to take care of my fellow person because if we don't take care of our fellow person, what good are we? But again, I do those. I had it in my mind. I'm doing this to just try to do good by my community. Yeah. But the one story I wanted to tell you, which is kind of I will say it's not necessarily a customer service story, but more how I was treated at a workplace story and what happened.
You know what? This eventually, I did want to take the show in this direction where we would have segments where it's more about what happened inside the business. And Jamie, I don't mind if we take it there because we kind of did that on a previous episode. It was more like what's going on with inside the business. But last thing, people. Please tip. I don't care whether you're at a restaurant. Leave a tip. A buck for every $5 you spend on your meal. If it's Lyft or Uber, whatever you're doing, please be aware of how far this person had to drive. And keep in mind, they have to pay for their own gas. We got to replace our tires, oil change. It's our car. We're independent contractors.
It's our car. Respect our space.
Exactly. Don't puke. Don't show your love in a very personal way.
Baby. Oh, baby.
Yes.
Oh my God. Let me see your backseat. Yeah.
All right. But anyway, moving on from that, just be cool. Be smart. All right. Be nice. Anyway, so.
All right.
Continue. Story number 3.
Okay. So, just to let you know, I worked for Sam's Club for 10 plus years, and I didn't get paid very well at the very end of that 10th year. But this story isn't about that place. Sam's Club is the place that I left to be part of just for safety, I'm just going to refer to them as the restaurant supply house. Okay. Because this place is a chain of restaurant supply houses across the Midwest and Northeast. So I get hired by them, and my job is I am a shift leader, which is
a lot of responsibility.
The unfortunate combination of clerk and manager. Yeah. You get the responsibilities of a manager, but you get the respect of an employee. So, and over the course of the year, I'm there, I'm doing my best. I'm a little annoyed that I have to work in the freezer frequently, which honestly, I'm not a fan of cold. I should have foreseen that something bad was happening whenever the hire managers were two of them came from Ohio and would go back to Ohio for holidays and stuff, and that's the reason why I was called in for an alarm call on Christmas Eve And it turns out it was a false alarm. So I had to interrupt my Christmas Eve to go to this restaurant supply house and check the alarm. Yeah, needless to say, I was a little pissed by that.
Oh, I'd be annoyed by that too, man. It's a freaking holiday.
Yeah, but the worst though is whenever my grandmother was on her deathbed, she was literally like a day and a half away from passing away, and I find this out. And I'm working a Monday.
Right.
And I'm working the Monday closing shift. And I say to the assistant manager, both the assistant managers, I'm like, hey, is there any way we can switch over shifts? My grandmother is very ill. She's probably going to be passing soon. I'd like to spend some time with her before she's gone. And first manager says, I can't do it. I'm having dinner with my dad tonight. And this is a guy who would have dinner with his father every Monday night. Which I'm not trying to say you shouldn't have a nice bond with your family.
Yeah.
But that just seems like something kind of selfish in my opinion.
Yeah, if it is a regular, like, it's good to have a good relationship with your father, and if this is a regular thing, nice. But theoretically, his father is going to be there next Monday for another dinner.
Right.
Yeah.
But the most insulting one was from the other assistant manager who said, do you happen to have a timetable when you think she's going to pass?
What?
Yeah.
What? Oh, God. Oh, God. I could taste the disgustingness of that statement. Like I have like a sixth sense. Oh, my God.
So, she tried to just pull it off. Like, I've been through this situation before. I know that there's usually time. I'm like, here's the thing. This is my grandmother. I'm very, very close to her. And you just insulted me in that way. So needless to say, I was stuck at the restaurant supply house doing the closing shift. And I literally went up to all my employees like, unless you need me desperately, I'm going to be in the office for the rest of the night, probably crying my eyes out, which I did.
I'm so sorry.
And I was lucky enough though that I was able to close out the place quickly, and I zipped out to the nursing home where my grandmother was, and I got to see her for a little bit before she passed away the next day. Don't get me wrong, the restaurant supply house was nice in the fact that they provided a lot of food for the wake.
Oh, okay.
But that's just kind of small potatoes as compared to me wanting to have that time with her before she's gone.
Yeah, once again, as you said, it's a good thing for someone to have spend time with their parents, maintain a good relationship. But once again, it's something like, according to you, this guy did every week with his dad. So unless there's something going on with his father, would skipping a week, especially for someone who's got to be with a family member that's going to be passing soon, would that wreck your relationship? I would hope not, unless they got one weird relationship. And then secondly, like a timetable of death, the apathy in that question. Yeah. And it's just like, I don't know, man. You got a timetable for when a child, the exact day a child's going to be popped out? No, you got to get down to a few weeks. It's like, but oh my God, that is like pissing me off so much. That question, like dealing with the customers, as we've been talking, when you're doing your list, dealing with bad customers is bad enough, and this is something I've brought up in previous episodes.
But dealing with bad management can be infinitely worse.
Exactly, because if you have a job like that where there's management you have to speak to, you're dealing with a bad customer. If the manager's got your back, that can make you feel so good as an employee to know that you got the bad days, but the staff is there to back you up. Not just your coworkers, but especially your manager, the person in authority.
And one of the things I brought into my management style was something that was told to me by one of the team leaders at Sam's Club, which he said, "I will never have you do anything that I won't do myself."
That's a leader.
And I took that upon myself, and I think that's one of the reasons why my my staff at the restaurant supply house loved me so much is because I treated them like an equal. I'm not a manager. I'm on your level. Just because I can do managerial stuff doesn't mean that I don't respect you. Which is why I think all of them were on my back whenever had my back whenever a couple weeks later I had a job interview with and I'm blatantly going to advertise them here. 80stees.com was my job after that, and I absolutely love 80s Tees. Kevin and his crew were class acts and gave me one of the best jobs I've ever had in my life. And Kevin, if you're watching this, thank you, Ken. I'm so glad that we had the opportunity to work with each other. But that being said, I had gotten the job with 80s Tees, and this is in October, so they're kind of they're smack dab in the middle of Halloween season and shipping out costumes and costume shirts and whatnot. And Kevin says to me, we're doing Saturday hours during the season. Would you like to come in? I'm like, I'll start this Saturday, literally. And I've been scheduled for like 2 weeks forward from the restaurant supply house.
Yeah.
And so I made myself a plan. I made myself a very devious plan.
Ooh.
So, that Friday, I come into work. I work the whole day, but I do not let it on to any of the managers, especially the one who said that, who had the, thank you.
I'm probably going to blur this out, but you know what's going on.
Oh yeah, exactly. But I told my employees that I was going to be quitting that afternoon. I told some of my best customers that I was going to be quitting, and I told them how much I respected them for coming in and being some of my best people to sell to and interact with. Because again, I may be a horrible person, but I have respect.
Yes.
And so my shift ends. So I take my badge. I take my store keys. My pretty much everything I had that pertained to management. Put them in my hand. I open the managerial door for the last time, and I go in and say, "Hey, see you later. I quit," and put the stuff down, and I walk out. And this person just comes up behind me like, what? And this person has been priming me through the rest of the day of changes we were going to be doing to end caps and store resets. And I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely, I'll do that. Sure. And just not letting on to this person that any of this was going to occur. So it's like complete and utter sideswipe. She had no idea. And I'm walking out, she's like, wait, what? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I quit. See ya. And just so nonchalant about it. And I mean, like, I think the kids might refer to that as leaving like a boss. Yeah.
Oh, that is some sweet vengeance.
Oh, and I still had contacts within the place.
Oh.
So I was talking to some of the employees who were still there. I'm like, so can you give me a heads up of what happened after I left? Oh yeah, that person didn't come out of the managerial office for the rest of the day because it was suggested that this person was making calls, trying to scramble to get coverage for the situation that occurred.
Oh man.
And then but that next day, I literally no turnover. I worked Friday at the Little Bit of Hell, and I went to 80s Tees the next day, and I had a spectacular time working there. especially for the fact that that I was respected for the work that I did. I was respected for the ideas that I brought in. Again, I can't laud Kevin and his staff enough, because they were just such a good good place who actually cared about their employees and still do.
Dude, that is a cool like follow up story. That's I was not expecting a story of we'll call this employee justice, which sounds like that could be like the title to some like reality show.
Employee justice.
Blah, 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 blah. But dude, that is a killer. That was a killer move you did.
Yeah,
right
I'm
there.
not known
Respect
for
to
quitting.
you.
I'm not known for quitting jobs, but that was necessary.
Yeah. Oh, dude. After what happened, I like. I, as someone who's stayed at a job longer than they should have, and staying there, it affected me emotionally and mentally, and I just became just like letting that anger and that frustration stew in you. You did the right move, and you did it. I mean, I'm sure they're still talking about that. They were talking about that for obviously that next day, the whole week. I'm sure like every once in a while, I'll be like, "Oh God, you remember Jamie who used to work here? Remember what he did? Like, oh yeah, right? Oh, that manager was freaking the fuck out, scrambling. Oh, that was great. Oh man, we should hit him up, see what he's doing."
Yeah, and actually, there is a strange little a nice little postscript. Is that one of my employees who's still connected with me on Facebook sent me a message. He's like, "Hey, I just want to tell you that I'm a manager at my store now, and I've never forgotten the lessons you taught me." And I'm like, man, it feels really damn good.
Salute, sir. Salute. Now, see,
So-
that's what makes a good man. Like, it's you be a manager, you have the authority to do many things, but if you're not a leader, you have to be a leader. If you're not a leader, then you're not going to get what you need to get out of your employees, you know?
Right.
And, dude, so congratulations on that slick move. And congratulations on leaving a positive, lasting impact on people. That's amazing.
Well, I mean, like, you put forward good into the world in hopes that good will come back at you. Yeah. That's how I live my life. That's how I live my sorry. That's how I live my life. That's how what I put into the world. So that's what I believe. You do good to your people.
Right on, man. We all take a little, take a page out of Jamie's book here today. Oh man. So wow. Okay. So we were just doing 2 stories. We got 3, and one that was like a minute, like a follow up to it, and that was cool, man. Nice stuff.
Thank you. But yeah, just remember, managers, respect your employees.
Please do.
You do, because if you're an asshole to your employees, they're going to be an asshole back to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Those are our stories for this episode of The Patronarchy. Let us know down in the comments, have you worked as a Lyft driver, as an Uber driver, whatever rideshare? Do you have stories that can relate to Jamie's? Let us know down in the comments.
Or even, if you have an idea for a badass story about you quitting someplace, hit him up.
Yes, let us know. Tell us down whatever you got. If you just want to talk about how you feel about what Jamie had to say today, or if you just want whatever you want to do, let us know. You got some cool stories. Let us know down in the comments. That's what this entire show is about. It's about employees relating about the crap we had to go through over the years.
And Vince, if you don't mind me mentioning, my name is Jamie. I'm from Neo Trash Video, Pittsburgh's preeminent video-based comedy troupe. If you would like to see what we do creatively, you can check us out on Facebook. Vince, you can put the link in the description.
Yep, down there.
And also, if you heard me say earlier, I am also DJ Jamie Derelict. I will be giving him the link to my original work. Again, it's all free because I can't get paid for ripping off other people's work. But yeah, feel free to download it. If you like it, tell your friends, and if you hate it, tell your enemies.
Yeah. So yeah, go check out his DJ work. Go check out Neo Trash Video. And if you like this episode, click the like button. It helps out a lot more than you think. The YouTube algorithm loves it. And if you want to catch some future episodes, whether there's another episode of Patronarchy or one of my film reviews, click the subscribe button. But until next time, guys, take it easy.
Thank you for being awesome.